What's up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video, and I'm in a bit of an awkward spot right now. I've been struggling. A lot of people have been struggling with kind of the state of the game, the bugs that are coming out, this, that, the other, whatever. I don't want to rehash all of that. We've covered that in other videos, and there's been plenty of said in other places. The weird spot that I'm in right now is I am not at all happy with the company, but I very much enjoy the game despite the bugs. I've been looking and haven't been able to find a game that I enjoy as much as Bloodline, so I'm kind of, as they say, caught between a rock and a hard place. So here's my new approach. We're going to beat the system. And what do I mean by that? This company right now, the way they're operating, doesn't deserve any more of my money. I'm not giving it to them. So we're going free to play. So I'm starting a new series. It's going to be free to play. It's going to be us versus the system. And our goal is going to be to beat the system. And so in this video, I just kind of want to talk to you about that, set some expectations, talk about some goals, talk about some philosophies, and then I plan on a series of free-to-play videos coming out to talk about strategies and things of that nature. So let's chit-chat. Okay? So I think the first thing we need to do really is kind of set expectations, because honestly, from my perspective, that is one of the, I think the biggest problems with kind of the free-to-play community that I see is simple expectations. If your expectation as a free-to-play player is to keep up with, the upper echelon of pay-to-win players, you're fooling yourself. It's delusional. It's never going to happen. Stop it. That's what these games are built around, is there's going to be a sector of players that spend a lot of money so they can win. So what I do, even on accounts where I have spent some money, I still kind of, I'm never going to spend thousands, tens of thousands or more on this game. Never. That's not going to be me. So I just take that sector of players and I just kind of remove them from my view. I don't even think about competing with the players that are spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on this game. You shouldn't either. If you're a free-to-play player and your gripe is that you can't keep up with those players or that those players are ruining the game, you have faulty expectations. We need to change that. If you're going to be free-to-play player, then you have to accept the limits that you voluntarily place upon yourself. Okay? You can sit there and moan and whine that these games shouldn't be pay to win and blah. If that's what you want, then you need to go find a game that isn't pay to win, that's completely free to play. Go play Hearthstone Battlegrounds. It's completely free to play. I actually play that a lot on, some of my downtime from Bloodline, from YouTube, stuff like that. When I just don't want to think about stuff, I just kind of want to have fun. I go play, a round or two of Battlegrounds, and then I get pissed off and want to, throw the phone, so I stop playing it. But it's completely free to play. The core game of Hearthstone is not, but Battlegrounds is free to play. There's plenty of free to play games out there. If that's what your expectation is, then go play one of them. But as a free-to-play player in this genre of gacha games, champion collecting games, AFK idol, whatever you want to call these things, the limits we place upon ourselves is that we can't compete with those players. Probably at least not for a while. But even once we finally catch up, the goalposts will probably move. When they extended the level from 600 to 700, stuff like that. The other limits that we have to agree to is you're not going to be able to do things as fast. That is the whole system. Or I shouldn't say the whole system, but that's a big chunk of the system, is that they're banking on players wanting to progress faster so they spend money. You're not going to be able to progress as fast as somebody who's spending money if you're free to play. If you can't accept that, stop being free to play. You're also not going to be able to get everything. Okay? Because I know one of the big things is, well, I don't care that that the new clans are pay to win, but my problem is that I can't get them later on. You know what? Looking for another game to play, to transition to move on from in some of these recent moments of frustration with Bloodline, I've tried a whole lot of different games in the genre. Almost all of them have something, some champion or some part of the game that you can't obtain unless you pay for it. So it's not something that only Bloodline does. If that's something you have a problem with, stop being free to play or change genres. All right, so now that we have our expectations about free to play, let's talk about what I mean when I say beat the system. Okay? This system is designed to make you stop being free to play. Okay? The system is designed for you to get impatient. The system is designed for you to want. So we have to change our focus. Because as free to play, we're doing a couple of things. We are playing the long game. It's going to take longer for us to get to where we want to go. We are playing with finite resources as opposed to a player who can just pay money and get more resources as they need them. And we're not going to have access to everything. Now, also, when we talk about not having access to everything, really the only thing you don't have access to in this game as a free-to-play player are companions. Because every new clan is available in the new clan summoning events. Like right now on several servers, the Hyrule clan summoning event is going on. If you do summons from that event, you have access to all of the new clans. Loom, Nass, Scorching Fire, Strixbane, on and on and on. All of them. Devala, all of them. So you can very well get a champion and develop it kind of the old school way. Like Bloodline has conditioned us to think companion. That's why a lot of people like this game, is because you can get the companion and you can produce the fodder and you're not reliant on summons. Okay. But that's what the new clan events are, and that's why it's expensive to get the companions, because they have to replace, like the other games get their money from people buying a bunch of summons. They have to replace the income somewhere, and it's from these clan events. Okay? But here's the good news. You don't need the companions, because like I said, you can develop them the old way. And as a free-to-play player, you have to accept that some things are going to take longer. Now, you may not like the amount of time it takes to get enough summons to ascend the champion, but you can do it. And that is a limit that you're putting on yourself as a free-to-play player. But we don't need all the companions. But what we need to do is be prepared for when there is a companion that we need. But let's be honest. They have not yet released a companion that you should feel compelled to get. We thought it was the Hyrule companion for a minute because of the mistake with the leadership. We thought they were just going to be untouchable in leadership. That turned out not to be true. But so there has not yet been a companion that you must have. That is what I would call a must-have companion. The closest anybody can come to listing a must-have companion from any of the new clans they've added to the game is Devala, and that does not qualify under my conditions. What's a must-have companion? What are the reasons that we must have a companion? Well, there's 3 of them. One I can't argue with, right? They have the companionship tab with all of the companions that unlock additional bonuses to your districts. I can't argue with that, so we can't fix that part of it. Okay. If that is your gripe, I hear you. And I agree. You're going to be limited on your districts. But the two other main reasons that we need a companion are if the champion is best in slot for a district, which none of the new companions from Loom on are. None of them are best in slot in districts. And the other reason is if they have a clan trait that you want to put on everybody. And none of them have. What's the meta for traits? The meta for traits is, I mean, frankly, it's what we told you it was going to be way back when I released the clan, or when we released the tier trait. I'm sorry, the trait tier list video. It's agile, it's focused, right? Maybe ambitious if you want to go some uber energy. Those are really the only, like, if you want to run a pyro comp, you could do pyromancer. You have access to all of these companions. I have not yet listed a new clan trait that needs to be put on. Frankly, most of the new clan traits are bad. I think the only one that I gave some consideration to was the Devala clan trait, the resilience that regenerates health once you dip below 30%. There is some thought there. I never really played around with it. So you really have not been compelled to get any of these companions because none of them are best in district and none of them are clan traits that you're really thinking about running on an entire comp. So while yes, I understand it might be frustrating that you can't get these companions, you've had no need to. And that takes me into the philosophy that we have to adopt as free-to-play players. I'm going to give you this philosophy, and I admit it's going to sound a little bit corny. Okay, it's going to sound like one of those, corporate-style mantras or something they tell you in one of those, like, drug prevention programs that they show kids in school or something. But, it's what I came up with. It's 3 Ps, right? We got 3 Ps. This is the philosophy you need to adopt as a free-to-play player. And then over the next few videos, I shouldn't even say a few videos. I plan on making a lot of these videos. I'm thinking about 2 to 3 videos a week on this free-to-play series on us beating the system. And who knows, if we're successful at beating the system, maybe we take it to other similar games where it's very pay-to-win oriented, and we see if we can figure out how to beat those systems. Who knows? But 3 Ps. The first P is precision. You have to be precise in what you are trying to do with your account. We don't have that much room for error. We don't have extra resources. You have to be precise and you have to stay laser focused on your goal. Precision. And the way that we stay precise is the second P, which is planning. You don't have to, as a free-to-play player, go test things. We don't have the resources for that. Leave that to the bozo content creators like me to go waste our resources to test things to let you guys know how they are. There is a plethora of information out there. I put out videos. Rage Panda puts out videos. There's several other content creators that are putting out videos. There's a channel for it in the official Discord. There are several Discords made. I have a Discord, the official Discord. I'm sure some of the other creators have a Discord. Like, get out there and talk to people. Read. Like, this is all free. This fits within the free-to-play universe. You understand that, right? It costs you nothing to put forth the effort to read, to watch the videos, to research, to know what you're doing before you make a choice to spend your resources. If you're thinking about, let's say you save up 300 summons and you're thinking about participating in a new clan event, there's no reason for you to do it on day one. You should do it on the last day of the event because that way you can hear all of the feedback from the content creators, from the people in the Discord. You can hear all the bugs. You can figure out and decide whether or not that's the right choice for you. Planning. And then what I just talked about is the third P, and it's the most important P, which is patience. You have to have patience as a free-to-play player. That's what this system is built on, is you being impatient. This whole entire microtransaction system that is being created in these games is built on players being impatient, needing it now. I need the new champion now. I need the companion now. Why do I need the companion? So I can breed more and have the new champion now. I need to spend money so I can get gold chests because I need progress now. Like, we're going to have to be patient as free-to-play players. And in talking through some of this on my Discord with Dine and stuff, like, that was one of the things he brought up, because I was talking. So I started a new account, free-to-play account. And so one of the things when we talk about precision, one thing, and planning, right? Because of all of my experience in the game, I know that the new servers get the Loom clan event on day 15 when the district challenge starts. Okay, same day the district challenge starts is when the Loom event comes. I know that's coming. Now, I'm not building this. This is not being developed. The series is not being developed based around you having to start a new account. If you're already a free-to-play player, or even if you've already spent money and you just want to transition into being free-to-play, like my goal is that you'll be able to take the philosophies and the strategies that I give you and that we talk about and just start doing it. This is not like, starting a new account is not a requirement. It's just what I did because I want to have a fully free-to-play account in order to know what it's like to have a free-to-play account. So I started over. But because I've done the research, because I've read, and because, I personally have figured it out, I know that the Loom event is coming on day 15. So what have I done? All of my resources right now are going towards trying to get the 200 summons for the Loom event, because the Loom event is 200 summons, if you didn't know, instead of the 300 summons all the other clan events are. So I'm planning. So all of the stuff that I would normally do, all of the stuff that we told you to do in our new account start video, like, all of that is kind of out the door. And that's when I started realizing that it's really kind of a whole new approach from a free-to-play perspective if we're going to beat the system. Now, if you just want to kind of mosey along and do your own thing and you're not really trying to beat the system and any of that stuff, fine. Do it on whatever schedule you want. Okay, but I realized that developing my districts, developing my intimacy, developing my charm, all of those things that I told you should be first when you start a new account, they're not first in this situation because I only have one chance to get the Loom companion, and I want that companion because I want to be able to develop female Loom for a plan that I have that we'll talk about as far as the strategy and what I'm doing in a different video. I don't want to get sidetracked, but I know I need that companion, so I've planned and I'm being precise. I'm staying focused on my goal. My goal is to get that Loom companion. And when we were talking about this, like, Diane's reaction was like, well, that's really going to set back your progress. I know. That's really going to keep you from developing your champions. I know. That's really going to slow you down from making it through campaign. I know. Well, how are you going to sell that to people? If they want to beat the system, they have to be patient. Now, if you're already in a free-to-play account, you're already past the Loom event, obviously it's not going to apply to you, but I promise you, we will get to stuff that applies to you. That's just an example I'm giving you, but again, I'm not building this around you having to start a new account. These are just going to be philosophies and strategies that you should be able to implement anywhere. So again, plan on doing this 2 or 3 days a week. some of them will just be talking like this. Some of them will be updates and showing you kind of where I'm at with my free-to-play account, proving to you that my free-to-play account is still free-to-play, so there's some accountability there, all of that good stuff. Some of it will actually be, hey, here's the strategy, here's what I think you should do, step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever. We got plans for all of that, but I want to keep this going. Like, it's just going to be a full series. I'm excited about this because it's us versus them. It's us versus the system, and I want to beat this system, and we can do that as long as a free-to-play player, you agree to accept the limits that you're placing on yourself when you choose to be free-to-play. But I still genuinely think, or I wouldn't be doing this series, I genuinely think that there is a way for us to be competitive, and possibly more competitive than they think we should be as free-to-play players. So if you have a free-to-play account right now and you're hitting some roadblocks, or you've had some issues in the past, you want me to kind of take a look at and see if there's a way that I can find for you to avoid that or get around that or whatever, let me know in the comments below. If you're excited about this series, let me know in the comments below. I know a lot of people in the past have asked me to kind of pick this back up again, because I did a few of them before and then it kind of dropped off because honestly I got kind of bored of being free to play. But right now I'm motivated. This company has me pissed off, but I still love this game. I don't want to give this company any more of my money, so it's kind of us versus them now as far as I'm concerned. So Belligerent's motivated, y'all. We're going to get this series going. We're going to keep it going. Let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. I appreciate you. Peace.